Welcome back, YouTube. Today what I'm doing is I'm making a mold for, well, been making it for quite a while. Had to start out as small. It's a mold for the surface texture on the deck of the Lightning. And we ran into cold weather and my molds were not actually releasing properly. And we were working in such a small area of the vessel that didn't have cracks and checking going on in the gel coat itself, that I had to start out with a small piece, and I'm talking very small. I'll show you that to you, and work my way out and repair some areas until we got it up large enough to make a mold that's a little bigger. And that's where we got to this one. I don't know if you can see the texturing in this or not, but there it is right there. That little texturing right there. Now this is a very difficult mold. And if you look real close, there's a seam in the middle of this mold to where I used it to make it longer. And now we're going to patch a few spots and then we'll have to make it wider as we go, because I need about a 16 by 16 patch so that I can work on the front of the vessel where it's the entire top of the deck is all covered. And I'm going to show you that right quick. Now here on the front of the vessel, you'll see this. It's not a true skid resistant ground or top on the deck, but it gives you a little grip. So I had to pull it out of the sunlight and back it back into the shop before I do any grinding on this. You'll see all these tiny little cracks down through here. This is going to have to all be ground off. And as you'll notice, there is not a single area on this 1969 Lightning where I can lay down and take a mold that won't transfer these damaged areas. This is sun damage. And so if I relay these into my mold, then it won't look good. And we had that problem down here on the side, to where, now I didn't do anything here except just tried to fill this over, but you'll notice down here that there's the shadowy areas. That is imperfections that were actually in the first mold that I made. So I went back and I made a much smaller mold in one good area. And I put a little bit of pigment in it so I would be able to tell where I was at. And this is just junk gel coat. It wasn't anything. It's just something left over. So it's got a little bit of PVA on it, because what I did is I put it on this block. Then I put down a spot and I would sand out a spot. And I would put this mold down and put a weight on top of it. And I would line it up, and you'll feel it bite into the groove right there. And then you can put your weight on top of it and leave your gel coat that's in there to cure. And then once you get that cured area, you kind of feather it with sanding, and then you line it up and you move over half the area again. And the reason you can only move over half the area is you have to use this texture to lock in. Then you wash this off, you put more polyvinyl alcohol on it, you spray about 3 to 5 coats on there. And you want to spray it from different angles, because being a textured surface, what will happen to you is if you're spraying this way, you'll have it shoots across and you'll have dry spots in the back, and that will adhere to your surface. So I give it a good 4 turns. I spray it, I'll spray it, repeat, and then I'll come to the top and I'll make a fan this way, and each time I'll let these dry for about 30 minutes, because that polyvinyl alcohol, the alcohol evaporates out of it, and then you get your good coating. And you have to do it in a thin coat so that you don't flood the valleys. You want the ridges and the valleys to be coated evenly so that you get a good mold and a good release. And you'll notice all of the PVA, except for where I've been picking at it and playing with it, is still on it, but I'll wash it off and then I'll do it again. Now these edges curled up on me here. They didn't stay down whenever I epoxied it, well, fiberglassed it to this piece of plywood. So this little piece here got damaged. But thank goodness that only got damaged after I was 100 complete making the longer mold. So I got it a little longer, and I made it with I put a little bit of blue in it so that when I lay it down on my whites, I'll actually not be lost looking for it, trying to find it in the rest of the shop. So it just simplifies things for stuff to be different colors, because if you lay something down, it camouflages and just vanishes. But anyway, what I'm going to try to do now is I've got back here on the back of the Lightning, I've sanded all of the cracks out in here, and you can see where we've come across all these cracks are now fixed with this small piece, and I'm almost ready. I won't say I am ready. I'm almost ready to make a piece that is twice, this size. I want to make one so I can put a big patch down at a time, because what I'm doing right now is I have to do this little patch here. Let's get into focus. Come on. I have to do this little patch here, and what I do is I've taped up, because you've got a ridge here on the edge to where this comes across. You got a little ridge here, so I have to build it up with tape and make sure that your tape is securely adhering to the edge so that you don't have seepage up and under your tape. Then I'll coat this with PVA, and I'll just bookmark it like so and fold it over, and once we do that, we'll have this repaired right here. Now, these spots you can see that have been repaired, they're a little different shade from the rest. Once it's all 100% complete, I'll put 2 more coats with the spray gun. This is all going on with just a brush and weight. Then I'll go over it all with 2 coats of white to seal it all in nice and make it all one color, so that the old spots that were still good match the new repairs that are now good. So once I go on to this new portion, this will look like the same color, and it will all be repaired, and it'll probably give us another 53 years of service. And if you use carnauba wax on this and rub it out with a soft bristle brush, it will last even longer than that. But once we get this all repaired and get it in shape, I'll have this template. Now this has taken as much time to build these patterns, these mold release, as the whole repair job is going to take. So this didn't work out because it fell cold on me so fast right after my family got over having COVID. So we keep away from everybody now and try to stay safe, and I hope you're doing the same. And I'm going to get some gel coat put down on this, and I'm going to get the mold release sprayed on here, and then we'll get some gel coat on here. That's the steps we'll do it in, and get this all ready to go. And we'll walk away from it for about 6 hours and come back and see how we are today. Got a few other boats to go look at over at the marina, and then I'll come back to this project. Hey guys, stay tuned. It's not over yet. This video is not sponsored by Pazload. But now that the gel coat is under the mold, then I put the box of nails on top of it, and that'll keep the weight down on the gel coat so that it can set. Let's see if a little flash there will help you see it. So we're going to leave that, and then I'll come back in a little while and peel that off. And then I'll move over and get this piece here. This will be the piece I hopefully get in tonight, this section here. And then that's going to give me my first section. Let's back out. That'll give me my first section that is repaired and large enough to make this entire piece be a fiberglass back piece of the mold. And what I'll do is I'll actually make maybe 2 of these with the gel coat and the fiberglass. And that'll give me the opportunity to be doing 3 things at one time. I can get inside and work on the vessel, and I can have this up here doing what it needs to do, because the interior of the vessel only needs gel coat and sanding and a splattering. It doesn't need any texture, because whenever you mix up the splatter paint, what I'm trying to do is get to match the color that's here on the side, and once you buff this up, it's actually going to change shade quite a bit. But we'll get in here on this. We're going to color match this and get everything going together. And we should be moving along on the vessel swiftly. All right, guys, if you've enjoyed these videos, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And I got some kind of sad news yesterday. The owner of the Sidell didn't want to wait any longer, and they hauled it to the landfill. So I'm going to grab another boat, and I'm going to put it on my channel. It's going to be in my name, and I'm going to give a boat away. I'm going to restore it and give it away. So keep viewing, keep liking, keep subscribing, and stay safe.